Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Fighting Scots Sports Report. I am Tyler Trumbauer. The women's volleyball team is in the PSAC playoff hunt here in the final weeks of the regular season. Saturday, the ladies needed to pick up a win against PSAC West foe Indiana University of Pennsylvania. The 18-7 Edinboro Fighting Scots welcomed the 9-12 IUP Crimson Hawks to Macomb Fieldhouse last Saturday for PSAC women's volleyball action. The Scots got on the board early and often, scoring the first 11 points before the Hawks scored their first. That kill there by Tabby Meeks made it 17-9 in favor of Borough in set one. Edinboro would go on to take set one by a final score of 25-18, as this block attempt here made it wide and it gave the set to the Scots. The set two was a lot closer, more back and forth early on here, but the Scots did earn this point by way of another score by Tabby Meeks, made it 16-13 in favor of Borough. But that touch pass there by Elizabeth Silva made it 18-17. Edinboro closing in were the IUP Crimson Hawks, but Edinboro would prevail, winning set two as Jen Gruber comes up with a kill here later on to take set two by a final score of 25-22. Gruber contributing the kill as she is the leader in the kill category for the Fighting Scots this season. Later on in set three, the Scots had an easier go of it. Back and forth here. Continuing on, but the point then goes for the Jill Glover, made it 14-7 there at the outcome of that volley, and they would win the match with Brianna Gardner taking the match point. Mara Maycock, who led the team in kills on the day, talked about how their loss to Clarion the night before helped them with this win.
Yeah, I think so, because I think we realized, Clarion was the best team in the PSAC right now, and we probably should have beat them or could have beat them, and I think it really showed us how good we really are, and we can really do some damage and make the postseason.
The Scots have a huge match at Macomb Fieldhouse against Gannon University on Friday at 7 p.m. The squad also welcomes Mercyhurst to Macomb on Saturday at 1. The women's soccer team had its first non-conference match of the regular season last Tuesday as Borough welcomed Roberts Wesleyan of the East Coast Conference to Sox Harrison Stadium. 7-4-1 Edinboro welcomed the 6-6 Roberts Wesleyan soccer program to Sox Harrison Stadium. They got on the board first in the 50th minute, made it 1-0 with Bella Matrevsky's goal there. Alex Brown scored in the 78th minute to knot it up at 1 unassisted off of this ricochet of this shot. Roberts Wesleyan would go on to win in the 106th minute with another Matrevsky score to win 2-1 in double overtime. The ladies earned a 6-3 victory over Mansfield on Saturday afternoon, where Liz Debo set a new school record for career goals, and Ashley Mutkiss tied a school record for the most goals scored in a single match as she netted 4 scores. Edinboro hosts Slippery Rock on Wednesday in a match with huge playoff implications. That match is at Sox Harrison Stadium at 6 p.m. and can be seen live on ETV. The football team returned to Sox Harrison Stadium last Thursday after earning its first win this season a week before against Clarion. The Boys of Fall weren't as fortunate in this one. The 1-5 Edinboro Fighting Scots welcomed the 4-2 Gannon Gold Knights to Sox Harrison Stadium. The Scots got on the board first, 7-0 here, with this rushing touchdown by Anthony Williams following a fumble recovery by Edinboro and a big run by Williams. Brock Jones for Gannon had a 64-yard run to knot it up at 7 all in the first quarter. Then Liam Nadler, the 6'7" quarterback for Gannon, rushes this one in to make it 14-7 Gannon, and they would just roll from there. Brock Jones with a 20-yard run here to make it 21-7 in favor of the Golden Knights early in the second quarter. Later on in the second, about midway through the quarter, Gannon would add on to that score and make it 21-7 as Liam Nadler would hook up with Justine Ham to make it 28-7. A field goal made it 31-7 later in the second quarter, where most of the points were scored on the night. And then a big reason why Scots didn't score is the Gannon defense picked off Cody Harris twice. He was only picked off once coming into the game. And a rushing touchdown by Alex Papson here, 38-7. The final score was 52-7 in favor of Gannon. Head coach Scott Browning said, "What went wrong that night?"
We didn't get things done. We didn't make plays, and they were there to be made, and we just didn't get it done.
The squad returns to action this Thursday night as the Scots travel to Erie Veterans Stadium to face off with Mercyhurst. That game is slated for a 7 p.m. kickoff. The men's and women's cross-country teams wrapped up their regular season slate this past Saturday as the Harriers competed in one of the top Division I meets in the nation, the Wisconsin Adidas Invitational. The men's and women's teams both competed in the open race that included more underclassmen from the top Division I schools in the nation, but still tough competition nonetheless. Matt Link was the top male finisher from the borough, he finished 20th. Elliot Martinkowitz and Corey Weefing were the next ones to cross the line with Edinboro on their shirts. For the women, Casey Jones paced all Edinboro female Harriers with a time of 21:55 and a 34th place finish. Emily Ahrens and Anna Hosel were the next best finishers for Borough. No team scores were kept in those open races. The teams will now prepare for the PSAC Championships, which will be held on November 8th at Mansfield University. The men's and women's swimming teams kicked off their regular seasons this past weekend in the Spire Open in Geneva, Ohio, against Clarion and IUP. Edinboro's men's teams fared better than the women's team as far as team scores go, with the men's team finishing second. However, IUP ran away with the entire day at the Spire Open. Tony Romanini, Stacy Schreckengoss, Holly Stein, and Micah Cattell all earned first-place finishes on the day for Edinboro. The teams are in action next this Friday in the Westminster Relays and on Saturday at Lake Erie in Geneva, Ohio. That's all for this week. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @ETV Sports to stay up to date on all the Borough athletic happenings.